Hello, this is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing, bringing you a general, actually it is not a general reading. We are doing a love reading this week because it is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone out there, whether you are in a relationship or not. I hope that it's filled with a lot of love and joy and happiness, and you can share the day with your friends and family and coworkers. And for those of you in a relationship, your lover, your partner, your spouse, your other half. So I do hope it is an amazing day for everyone, regardless of your status. We are going to go ahead and see what is going to be in store for this week of love for everyone with regards to love. It is going to be love specific. It is going to be Monday, February 13th through Sunday, February 19th. We're going to be doing 4 situations today. I have prayed over the cards, shuffled. I have asked that everyone receives at least one message. For those of you that are interested in the cards, I am pulling today from Doreen Virtue's Romance Angels deck, as well as her Flower Therapy deck with Robert Reeves. And I am also pulling from John Holland's Psychic Tarot of the Heart deck. And at the end, I'm going to have you guys all think of a question that may not have been answered during the reading. And we're going to pull one card for each situation from Doreen Virtue's Angel Answers deck. So if there's something I don't quite answer for you, we'll see if you guys can get it from that. So let me make sure you guys can see those. Many thanks to all of you for subscribing to my channel, following, commenting. I do love hearing from all of you. Even though it sometimes does take me a little time to get back to you, I do appreciate all of your patience. I am one person. I also, as many of you know, juggle a full-time career. So it takes a little bit of time. So I do appreciate all the patience, all the support. You guys are very amazing. I do appreciate you. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your journeys. So it looks like you guys can see that. Let's go ahead and get started. I have prayed over and shuffled the Sabilas as well. If we need those, we'll pull those along the way. So let's move these out of the way. Okay, so the very first situation we have, because I said we're going to go over 4 situations this week. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to go over 3 cards for each. The first situation, the first card that we have, and I don't know how close. I need to get that for you guys to see it. Okay. Is the sacral chakra. Now, if you're familiar with the chakras are our energy centers. Most of us have 7 of them. Some of us have 13. But everyone has the same 7 core chakras. Think of the colors of the rainbow. They do go in Roy G. Biv order from your base all the way up to your crown chakra. Now, the sacral chakra, that chakra is, for most people, it's located about, I'd say probably 1.5 inches or so below your navel. The color of that chakra is orange, as you can see here. The purpose of the sacral chakra, that's the chakra of creation. So like if you work up in the chakras, your base chakra, that's money, finances, your foundation, family, that's red. As you work your way up the chakras, because when we look at like pyramid of needs, in order for us to live and survive, we need food, we need a roof over our head. That's our base, that's our foundation. If you think of that in terms of chakras, that would be your root chakra, which is red. Okay, because if you go up in the pyramid of your needs, you can't get to a relationship of love if you don't have a roof over your head. If you're struggling to feed yourself, you don't really care about finding the love of your life. You're happy to stay single and find a job to feed yourself because we have a hierarchy of needs that we have to meet. So if you think of the chakras in a similar way, you have to first with the chakras, you need to have that foundation. Finances, stability, family, security. As you work your way up the chakras, the top chakra is what we refer to as the crown chakra. That's the connection to divine, to God, to getting that divine information. So if you have a lower pyramid, lower chakra need that's not being met, it's kind of harder to reach those higher evolution chakras. But when they're all cleared, opened up, and running, you can create something magical. But I'm seeing here for a number of you, sacral chakra has come up. That is the chakra truly about creating things. Like I mentioned, it's about, for most people, granted we all have different body types, but for most people you're looking at about 1.5 inches below your navel. And the sacral chakra, that is what, you know, we use to create things, because it truly is it's the creation. You know, people, if they put terms to it, it's typically, you know, the I want this. So, and you know, I want this, so I'm going to create this. All of our chakras are actually connected to different organs. So for some, you know, since this is love related, some of you have a new love interest is essentially what they're saying. You have a new love interest. Your sacral chakra, it is connected to your testicles, your ovaries, your uterus, your reproductive organs, the organs that you create life with, is what it's connected to. You have an opportunity to create a new life with someone. For some of you, you have a new love interest who has sparked your romantic feelings. For some of you, this is a divine love interest. For some of you, it's a soulmate. For some, a small number, it could be a twin flame. But you have this love interest that you do have tremendous potential to create a life with, create a future with. But some of you have had some problems, some drawbacks, some hesitations with creating that. So it's causing you some physical problems. You know how I said the chakras are connected to different organs of our body. So for some of you, you know, you've got this divine love. You're like, oh my gosh, I can just feel that this is the one. But you know what? I'm afraid because of things that happened to me in the past. So I'm not going to make the effort. I'm just going to stand back and do nothing. This card, the next card that you have is make the effort. And at the bottom it says, great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So for some of you, you're being guided to move forward with this love interest. And for some of you, they're saying you have been guided to do that for a while and you have not done that. For some, they're saying you've taken like 1 step forward and you've taken 14 steps back. For some of you, they're saying that you've just completely stagnated, done nothing. They're saying for some of you, it's just been a complete avoidance of it. It completely turned your back on it. And for everyone in the situation, they're saying it's because you're fearful of having your heart broken again. You know, but you have been praying. You've wanted the love of a lifetime. You've wanted someone to share your life with, create a life with, create a family with. They've answered your prayers. God, Jesus, the angels, they have this person for you. They've presented this person to you. They're trying to nudge you in the direction of that person. They're trying to help you have that courage, that motivation to take those action steps, because in order to move in the direction, move down that pathway toward and into this great love, creating the life, creating the things that you desire, you have to make the effort. You have to do something. But because you're fearful that it won't work out, and you're fearful of, oh, what if they do the same thing someone else has done to me in the past, you're not doing anything. And for some of you, what they're saying is you're actually having some physical pain. Because chakras, like mentioned, are tied to organs. So for some of you, you have this divine love, soulmate, twin flame, whatever it is. You've been terrified of moving forward. You're not doing anything. You're not making effort. You're standing completely still for fear of things going downhill when it's meant to be divine love. But you're starting to have like some cramping. You're starting to have some stomach pain. Some of you, you're starting to think, oh my gosh, I think I have an ulcer. Oh my gosh, what is going on? I'm having this terrible pain. They're saying some of you have been having lower back pain, like pain with your hips, pain with the muscles around your lower back, like around your L2, L3. Some of you heading almost as low as into your L5, so almost to your tailbone. So a lot of physical pain. That physical pain will go away as soon as you make the effort with the person you're meant to be with. So what they're encouraging you to do this week of love is open your heart. Now, hopefully you guys can see that. It says, open your heart. It's red roses. At the bottom, it says, your potential for greater love rests in opening your heart. Blockages and wounds from your past will be healed, and you'll be met with the true passion you seek. So you have this person. You have this love of a lifetime. Congratulations to all of you that have that. Red roses, they are associated with love. They're associated with a deep love. You know, that's why typically on Valentine's Day, you know, you'll have someone, they give their lover, their partner, their spouse, they give them roses, red roses, to show their love, their passion. It's a flower of sensuality, romance. They present those, wanting to take that to a deeper level, a deeper connection. But to do that, so for those of you that have this divine love, they're really encouraging you to take that step. Let those past painful experiences go. Let those feelings, those emotions, those things that people have done to you in the past or not done for you in the past, let it go, because it's time for you to move forward with this person you're meant to be with. Things are going to turn out beautifully. They're saying that those of you in this situation, you've had a lot of signs that this is the person you should be moving forward with. It's just time for you to take the steps. They said it's time. They keep saying it's time. Divine timing has been at play. And so for a lot of you getting to this point, there's been a lot of things that have been out of your control. Because typically when it does come to a divine relationship, like a soulmate, twin flame, one of those really strong connections, there are things that have to occur in order for those things to come into place. Kind of like if you think of it like a puzzle. Certain puzzle pieces have to fall into place before other pieces can fall into place. So a lot of things have been out of your control. For some of you, it's been frustrating, but you're now finally at that point. Those other things have been cleared away. Past relationships have been cleared away. Some of you have had to change jobs, but it's now time to make that effort. And this is the perfect week to do that. I mean, this is the week of love. Love is on everybody's minds. Even if you're worried that they'll turn you down, most people are going to be a little more open and receptive to that. So they're saying go for it. And this is a major arcana. You'll notice actually 3 of these cards are major arcanas. This one's actually tied to emotions. But major arcanas, life-changing things. So this is... Those of you, of course, this is a love reading this week. These things are going to be love related, but these are going to be things that change your entire life. Next card that we have is Flow. It's number 10. And this is a card that talks about, you know, attraction, expectations, letting go of things, releasing things, expansion, cycles, life cycles. And the traditional tarot, this would actually be the Wheel of Fortune card. So for a number of you, you've had some things occurring in your love life, because these next cards that you have let go of control issues, and then you have the flowers over here, you've got world energy. Okay, we're gonna go over that in a second. So Flow, Wheel of Fortune. So for some of you, you've been stuck is what they're saying. You have been stuck in love because the Wheel of Fortune, you know, the Wheel of Fortune, things can move forward. Sometimes, if we don't do things we're guided to, things can move backward. More times than not, things will stay stuck, and it takes something to push the wheel forward, to move things, to get things going again. So for a number of you, you know, you've been praying for this love of your lifetime. You've been praying for things to get better, for things to improve. They're trying to answer your prayers, but you're stuck because there's some changes that they're trying to make that you're pushing against. Because what they're saying at this time, they're trying to bring in some positive changes, some improvements in love. And because they're saying some of you, you're fighting those things from a place of fear. And instead of releasing, letting go, trusting, and going with the flow, and going with those things and those changes that are coming your way, which are actually positive, because they're saying it's fear-based. So because of fear, because we do tend to fight change, and we fight change in all areas. I mean, even something simple as we go to the same restaurant once a week, we get the exact same meal. As humans, we typically don't do change. We don't like change. We don't like the unknown, the unforeseen. If we don't know exactly what it's like, what it tastes like, what it's going to turn out like, we will tend to fight it, not realizing that it could be the very thing if you're looking at something as basic as a meal, it could be the best meal we've ever had. Could be the best vacation we've ever had. Could be the best life that we're actually meant to lead, or the love of a lifetime that is going to be better than any love that we've ever experienced in our life. But because of fear of the unknown, what's going to happen, or this is not how I pictured things happening, we hold on. By holding on, we keep ourselves stuck. And that's where you're at right now. For those of you in this situation, they're saying because you haven't, you see he's got his hand on his heart, because this is a love reading. So out of fear, he's fearful of opening his heart to this new love. He's got, they're saying it's letting things go and opening up to the new things that are coming in. But because he's fearful of opening his heart, going with that cycle, letting a person go. There's someone that has to be let go. But because there's the fear in that, you're stuck. You can't bring in this new cycle, this new beginning. 10 is the end of a cycle. When you look at numbers in numerology, 10 means the completion of something. Letting something go so you can move into something new, something better. Forward movement, forward progression. Ushering in those things that you've been praying for. But you can't do that until you let go. So for some of you, okay, most of you. So for most of you, they're saying you have this person in your life and you envisioned yourself, with her, with him. You thought you were going to have a life with them. You've worked very hard for many months, many years, trying to build something with this person, build a foundation with this person. But this person has not been meant for you. So God has been trying to remove this person from your life so they can bring someone in better that's meant for you. But because that's not what you wanted, that's not what you envisioned, you're fighting it. You're holding on to that person. You're not opening your heart. You're not releasing, not letting go. But that's blocking you from love. Because they're saying for those of you that it's a person that you have to let go of, you've known that for a while. It's all part of your transition. Now, if you look at this last card, this is world energy. And at the bottom it says the earth is going through a transition of energy and your sensitive body is feeling it. You're not alone. Accept the help of others. Now, those of you that are familiar with my readings, I only work with God, Jesus, and the angels. I actually hear Jesus and the angels talk to me. A lot of times I'll pull cards and they don't actually mean what the cards say. This is that situation. This card is talking about you are going through a transition. You are ending this cycle with this person in order to bring in someone new. In order to bring in blessings, joy, happiness. Because those of you in this situation, you've not been happy for a very long time. But it's emotional discomfort. And when we're trying to heal our heart and we're trying to let someone go, and maybe we really have worked so hard to be with someone, and maybe we feel like a failure, like, oh my gosh, I've wasted all this time, this effort, this money. And sometimes I wonder what people will think, and we become comfortable with it, even though it's painful, even though they don't give us what we deserve, what we need, what we desire, even though we know it's not meant to be, we still stay in it because that's what we've envisioned. That's how we picture this turning out, and by golly, we're going to stick to it. But you are not meant to be with that person. It's the end of the cycle with them. This is a time for your great transformation. If you think of it like a caterpillar, when a caterpillar goes into its cocoon and it spins a cocoon, it's right at the end, right before the caterpillar bursts out as a butterfly, that the caterpillar thinks it's going to die, because it's right at that moment that, there's no oxygen in the cocoon. And that's the moment that the transformation is complete and the caterpillar bursts out as a beautiful butterfly. Up to that point, caterpillar, I'm sure, thought, oh boy, this is as good as it gets. Life is good. But then the caterpillar comes out being 1,000 times more beautiful and free and able to fly and go with the flow and vibrant. Because most butterflies are filled with vibrant colors and yellows and blues and oranges. But things totally shift for the better and transform. And the butterfly can fly and truly enjoy life. But right before becoming the butterfly, the caterpillar thought life was over and held on very dearly and tightly. They're saying that some of you are kind of like that caterpillar. You are holding on so tightly because you have no clue what's awaiting you. But you have to let go. The time has come. Which is why for a number of you, you've had a lot of changes that are out of your control because the divine has been doing that, pushing it. Now, you know how this was talking about, sense your body picking up on things? So for some of you, because they're trying to guide you towards someone you are meant to be with, for some of you it could be a divine love. Because you're holding on to the person so tightly that you are not meant to be with, you are starting to have some physical conditions. Some of you are having some actual heart. When your heart chakra opens up, you'll have some actual physical pain in the middle of your chest center. But because it's so emotional, it's such a hard. For some, it doesn't need to be hard, but sometimes we will just make things harder on ourselves than it needs to be. But it is an emotional transformation, and also for some, it's they're saying some are having difficulty opening up to those strong emotions. So there are some heart palpitations, some chest pain. Which can be alleviated. So for those of you that are having chest pain, ask that Jesus and Archangel Raphael ease the chest pain for you, heal your heart, open you up to those emotions, and help you take the action steps necessary that you need to take to move, get this wheel moving forward, which for those in this situation, it does mean letting that person go. Ask that Archangel Michael help you have that conversation. Now, for some of you with the physical sensations, so for some of you, they're saying that there are some communications tied to this. Some of you haven't had communications with yourself, not admitted your true feelings. Some aren't allowing yourself to admit your true feelings with that person you need to let go. And so since there's no communications, you're having throat issues. So for some of you, the way it's showing up is your physical body. You're having sore throat. You're having strep throat. Some of you, they're saying like laryngitis. You have to communicate. The funny thing is you'll notice so for some of you that have been holding on to this person forever, you've gotten tons of signs. You know you've got to let that person go. Not probably something you want to hear around Valentine's Day, but next Valentine's Day you can celebrate it with the love of a lifetime, because for most of you they're trying to bring in a divine love, but you cannot and will not have that until you let this person go. But if you let that person go, what you're going to find is these physical conditions that you've been having. So for some of you, you're even having some, these physical conditions we were talking about earlier, the cramping, the lower back pain, the hip pain, because they're trying to get you to create the life that you desire. It's not with this person, but it is manifesting physically in your body. You'll notice when you let this person go, so you can progress forward, you can get the wheel moving forward, you can be with that divine love you're meant to be with. Those physical ailments, conditions, problems that you're having will cease the moment you let this person go. Because what happens is when we are being divinely guided to do something, the way it typically progresses, now there's always things outside the norm, but what typically will happen is we'll start getting some signs. Maybe we'll meet the love that we're supposed to be with. Or maybe we'll just keep getting signs that this is not a good person for us. Maybe we find out that they lied to us. Maybe we find out some more lies that are a little bit bigger. Maybe we find out that they stole from us. Maybe we find out that they cheated from us. Maybe we then start getting a lot of divine signs, like we're constantly seeing like divorce attorney commercials or separation commercials, or we're constantly hearing about breakups and things, and these are more signs for us. But if we keep ignoring all that, we keep getting pushed harder. So then suddenly we're having physical pain, we're having throat pain, we're having strep throat, we're having lower back pain, we're having hip pain. That's God saying, it's time, let them go, child, or we do have free will, but the situation will just keep getting worse and worse and worse until we make a decision that is best for our highest good. They don't do these things to hurt us. They do these things to lead us to something better. Because for those of you that are in this situation, it's not been good for a very long time. They're trying to get you to someone that will love you in return, that will treat you right, that will be faithful, loyal, honest, give you the love that you deserve, and unconditional love. And for those of you that are in this situation, I know it's not something that's enjoyable or fun to hear on Valentine's Day. Again, this is opening things up so you can share it with someone next year. because they do have a great love for you. But you can't have that person until you let the one that is not. And for some of you, this person is actually really bad for you. They're doing way more damage than good. They're trying to move you to something better. Go with the flow. Let go. Trust. Now with trusting, the next situation we have, it's also another major arcana. It is number 9. It is seek. And if you look at this, you have this person meditating. They're meditating in a meadow underneath a tree. They've got a couple birds. Now, the interesting thing is the birds are a color of Archangel Michael, communication. In the traditional tarot, this is the Hermit card. So for some of you, you have been taking a lot of time to yourself. You've been thinking, you've been evaluating, you have been communicating with yourself. What is it that I need? What is it that I desire? What is it that I need from a relationship? I need from someone. I need from myself. Now, for some of you, you've been, okay. So for some of you, you're in a relationship. Actually, they're saying most of you, you're in a relationship. Similar thing. You're actually nearing the end of that relationship for those of you in this situation. You'll see this is a 9, that's a 10. But you've been trying to hold on to it so tightly, not wanting to let it go, that you have not taken the time to be the hermit. You have not taken the time to evaluate your feelings. You have not taken the time to communicate those feelings with yourself or with the other person. This is now time for you to disconnect from that person. This next card is retreat. And it says it's time to disconnect from the world. Now, sometimes this card, what it can mean is, with a love partner, to disconnect from the world with them and go have time with that person. But they're saying it's time for you to disconnect from that person, spend time alone with yourself to determine what it is that you want and desire. Because they're trying to help you manifest the love of a lifetime. They're trying to help you manifest those things. But you're getting in your own way. Slowing down the process. They're saying for some of you, it's really frustrating you because for some of you, you've been trying to hold on to someone so tightly, and I get that it has a financial basis. The next card that we have, it's yellow lilies, and it's, financial healing. We'll go ahead and read the bottom of it real quick. If we get it up. The bottom, it says, your money struggles are a thing of the past. Be open to all avenues to receiving, and you'll be provided for in every way. So for some of you, those of you in this situation, you have this person, this man, this woman, you've been with them a long time. Some of you, it's your spouse. Some of you, it's a lover that you've shared home with, family with, some of you business relations with. But there's a financial foundation with that person. And you're fearful that if you go separate ways from that person, some of you fearful you're not going to be able to take care of yourself. Some of you feeling that you're not going to be able to take care of that person. You feel responsible for them. But there's a financial element aspect to it. But they're saying that the relationship has not been working for a very long time. For many of you, your heart has been broken. You've been needing to take the time to separate from that person, to start to heal your heart. Start to communicate to yourself. Allow yourself to feel those true emotions of, okay, what do I want? Is this working? Am I getting my needs met? Is there balance to this? And don't allow finances to be a factor when you're contemplating that. And they're saying for a number of you, the reason you have to disconnect from that person and take a break from them to think these things through is because that person is really trying to pressure you. If you look in this card, they're having this conversation. So they're saying for some of you, you've been thinking for a long time about, separating. They're saying for some it's divorce, but some it's not divorce. Like you're in a relationship with the person, maybe living together, engaged. But you are financially bound together. You are in a relationship together. It will be a separation. But anytime you start to have that conversation, they talk you out of it. And the foundation, the real core foundation, the reason they keep trying to keep you is because they need you financially. For some, you're fearful that if you leave, how are you going to care for yourself financially? But the core is money. The core is not love, which is what it should be. But they're encouraging you to take the time to disconnect, to really just go spend time by yourself, spend the time in nature, not allow yourself to be coerced, not to allow them to just talk you into taking a direction that's not meant for you, to truly evaluate what it is that you need, what it is that you desire, so you can make the decision that is best for you. Because those of you in this situation, same thing, they've been giving you a lot of signs. You know the right direction. It's just overcoming that fear and allowing yourself to separate. So that, because they're saying for a number of you that are in this situation, your partner, he keeps really pushing their agenda on you. Like, they won't let you go. For some of you, they're not going to let you go because you're paying for their lifestyle. And they're like, hell or high water, you will not leave me because you're going to continue to sit here and pay for my lifestyle. So they're keeping you stuck. I would say, like, bombarding your thoughts. They're not allowing you the time to think for yourself, to think clearly, to think of what's best for you. And that's what you need at this time to make the best decision. And ask the angels to give you signs. A lot of you have been getting signs, but if you go out in nature and you start to think about it, ask them to help you. Ask them to give you signs. They'll speak to you through animals. And like, if you keep seeing a repeated animal over and over, Google, what's the spiritual meaning of, like, blue jays? Blue jays, their spiritual meaning is to speak up, communicate. Usually blue jays are really loud, really vocal and loud. It's time for you to speak up. So for some of you, it's time for you to speak up with that person, to let them know, no, this is not working, to separate, to end this chapter, move forward. But for some of you, it's still communicating that with yourself. But you'll need a break, and you'll need the time to think that through and then make that decision. Ask the angels to help you. Ask them to give you signs, and they will. And really look at all angles, because they're saying it's money-based. Now, the last situation we have is win or lose. And if you look here, we have the sword. It has a heart in the center, and it's in the ground. The next card that we have is engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. And then we have balanced friendships. These are Gerber daisies. Your friendships work best when there's an equal share of giving and receiving. So the first card that we have, that win or lose card. This card, it typically talks about arguments, disagreements, detaching. Obviously, it talks about love. It has the heart right there in the center. But, win or lose, winner, loser. So for those of you in this situation, you have a love interest, and it's completely broken down. It's completely fallen apart. There was a disagreement. And everything just has stopped. Some of you feel as though you've been stabbed in the heart. They're saying for some of you, you felt that this was a deep love, and this person felt the same. You thought it was going to go to a higher level. You thought it was going to go further. For some of you, you had a lot of hope for that. And Gerber daisies, those are typical flowers that, when you go see someone that's sick and not feeling well, you'll take them because they're always so bright and airy and joyful, and they just light up the room, and they just make you feel better. Some of you have been kind of sick and upset because you thought, oh my gosh, he's it. He's my meant to be. I'm so in love with him. But for some of you, he left you to go back and be with someone else. There was a third party involved. For some, he or she was fearful because they weren't ready. we all come with our own, baggage, things, experiences that we've had in the past. And even though we try not to hold experiences that we've had with other people against a new potential person, until we've done a lot of heart healing, it's difficult to do that. Because we may meet someone, we may think, oh my gosh, I feel just like them, like I felt for him. And I remember how bad he hurt me. So you know what? I'm not going to let it go any further. I'm going to stop this now. And we stab a sword in it, run. Because it's fight or flight. Even though this could have been a love of a lifetime, because we're fearful of what could possibly go wrong. Instead of thinking of all the amazing things that could go wrong, we're like, forget that, I'm out. Stab, which stabs them in the heart and stabs us in the heart, because if it's a divine love connection, it's going to hurt on both ends. But we're fearful of risking anything. So for some of you, you did have this divine love. They left. For some, they just left out of fear. For some, they left for another person. But it has left you sick in the heart, heartbroken. And for some, they're saying it wasn't balanced. So they're saying, for example, like some of you, so you had this love interest, and you kept giving and giving and giving and trying, and they were not. And that's why it fell apart. It's so weird. So typically I'd look at these cards and I would think this is saying, it would lead you to believe that it's over, but it's not over. It's not over. Things are about to change. When you look at numerology, number 5 is the number of change. Some of you, okay, some of you that are in this situation, you have been waking up in the middle of the morning, really early at 5:55 in the morning. You've also been noticing the clock at 5:55 in the evening. The angels are trying to tell you, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. This isn't done. It's not done. Even though you're sick and your heart's broken and you have no doubt that's over, and some of you have been trying to push yourselves to move on, you do have some love interest, romantic potential partners who are expressing their interest in you, but you just don't have the desire to move forward with them because you have this divine love that you're longing for. But you're like, this is just not going to happen, because for some of you, they're saying it ended months ago. And you're just like... They're saying for those in this situation, you're just finally have gotten to the point that, okay, it's just not going to happen. It's done. Put a knife in it. It's done. It's over. But because your soul knows differently, you're having a hard time moving on, because it's not. It's about to shift completely. And also about to come into balance, because they're saying for some of you, when he comes back, you're going to be fearful that it's going to be out of balance again, because those of you in this situation, it's a divine love. It's a twin flame. It's a soulmate. You are like all in. You're like, oh my gosh, I love her, love him so much. This is the one. Thank you, God. It didn't work out. From your vantage point, you thought you were the only one that was interested and wanted that. You both went your separate ways to do some heart healing. Because especially if it's a twin flame thing, twin flames, you are each other's other half. You truly are the masculine and the feminine of the same soul. When I talk with some of my twin flame clients, when I'm first giving them confirmation that they're twin flames, I actually walk them through an exercise that gives them some physical confirmation that they are each other's other half. They are truly one, to give them some physical proof of that. But it's very powerful. It's a gift for God. There is very few of us. There's only 288,000 of us in the world right now. Rare, but you're mirrors of each other. So often what will happen is they'll be like, oh my gosh, he went back to her, or, she went back to him, or, you know what, they just can't get their heart healed, but you're mirrors of each other. So if their heart's not healed and they're not ready for love, that also means your heart's not healed and you're not ready for love. And it also happens a lot of time for very strong soulmates as well, very strong divine connections. Because with strong connections, divine connections like that, until you're both healed, until you both have allowed your hearts to open up, until you both are fully communicating with yourselves and communicating with others, you're mirrors. You're doing the same thing. But once you're both healed and ready, then things can transform. So for those of you in this situation, things are about to transform. They will be balanced. When that person comes back, you're going to be fearful that it's just the same old thing. But open your heart. You're going to be surprised. They're saying you're going to be pleasantly surprised. They're pointing out the bright, colorful flowers because things are going to be bright and cheery. Don't go into it with fear and doubt because, again, you're mirrors of each other. They were fearful moving forward. You're fearful that things are going to stall. Let that go. Oh, you have to let that go, and you have to open up your heart. Okay. I'm going to pull a couple quick clarifiers. That's pretty straightforward, that one. Let's pull some for Seek. Okay. So for this row here, Seek, the first card that we have is the Grand Signore. And this is the, he's the Lord of the Manor. And, he is the, he's just got everything going for him. He's the Lord of the Manor, high society, money, finances, influence. He's an affluent man. And then we have the La Costanza. Move that a second. And, she stands for consistency, constancy, perseverance, strong, solid. And then the last card that we have is Stanza. And this is the room. And it's also, intimacy, solitude, privacy. If you look here, though, everything's disheveled. You've got the curtains flung up, you got the picture down, and no one's in the room. Okay. So you know how they were saying for some of you in this situation, you've held on to this person, the foundation, the reason is money. They're trying to keep you stuck in it because they need the money. Some of you have stayed in it because you are concerned about, you need the money. You're worried about the finances. But it's a financial foundation because you're worried about your image. So you see here, he's worried about how he's going to look, how he's going to be perceived. How will he pay for his fineries? And you see that she's standing here. The rock consistent, not moving. Standing firm. But they're not talking. Now they were bringing up communication earlier. So for some of you, you may be having some very sore throats because you have to have a conversation. The only thing that's strong and consistent that's holding, they're pointing out the yellow in her crown, the yellow in the lilies. It's a financial thing. But you don't have to worry about that because financial healing. They're saying for those of you in this situation, you are going to be pleasantly surprised that when you leave this situation, your finances are going to be better than they have in years. The very thing that is keeping you stuck in something that has you unhappy, because again, this is totally disheveled. It's not been a happy relationship. It's been rocky. It's been turbulent. There's been lots of fights, lots of arguments. If you look, it's cracked and dirty and moldy. It was over a long time ago. The only thing that's held you steady and persevering, getting through, standing firm was the money, the image, the perception. Being able to afford things in life. But you've had to give up a lot to get there. And those of you in the situation are realizing that it's just not worth it. But when you do, and if you make the decision that it's time to take this guidance and these things that you're being nudged to do for your betterment, you're going to find that the thing that is keeping you stuck, the money, you're going to be grateful and thankful that you did. Because some of you, they're saying it's almost like your money is going to double or triple what you have right now. But this is the crutch. That person is the crutch. You're keeping them because you need financial assistance or you think you need the financial assistance. They're keeping you stuck because they need your financial assistance. But if you disconnect this, if you break this, if you come to the room and have those conversations, you'll find that money is not the reason to be fearful. Okay, last one, win or lose. Okay, the first card that we have is the casa. And if you can hopefully see that without a glare, this is the home, stability, family, traditionalism, foundation. And then you have the fortuna. And that is, it's luck. It's something positive coming out of something unexpected, unplanned. And then you have the viaggio. And this is the travel, vacation, transferring, moving. Okay. So they were saying how those of you in this situation, you met this love of a lifetime and you've thought that it's over. For some of you, you just think the whole situation's dead and are trying to move forward. It's about love, foundation, family, home with that person. And it's about to change. It's funny, 5 has changed. This card is 5, Fortuna. So there's a fortunate event that is going on right now. Now this card, if you look at the traditional tarot, this would be the Wheel of Fortune. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Traditional tarot. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Let me stand up a moment. Okay. If you look here, she's on the wheel. Traditional tarot, this would be the Wheel of Fortune. And as mentioned, the Wheel of Fortune can be stuck. It can move forward, move backward. In situation 2, this is the Wheel of Fortune of someone that has to let someone go. To have the divine love of a lifetime come in, you have to let her or him go because they are not good for you. That exact same wheel is here. So, for some of you, this love that you thought was over, this divine love, is now going to be able to move forward because the person... Okay, so for some of you, say that you had a love interest and say he left you to go back to someone else. But that is not the person that is meant for him because you're the person that's meant for him. So something has occurred. He's finally let her go. Something has come to light. We just came out of Mercury retrograde. Maybe he's discovered something about finances, cheating, but he's finally moving forward to let her go. Now, he thinks that is not a fortunate event because if you look here, your cornucopias, that's your treasure, that's your harvest. She's dumping it out. So it was unexpected. And you wouldn't think losing a relationship would be fortunate. But it actually is fortunate because you have to clear things out to bring the new in. And you have to do that to move the wheel forward. So for some of you, this person, he'll be coming back, she'll be coming back. It's not over. Now for a small number of you, something unexpected has occurred or is about to occur. You may be taking a trip with this love interest of yours. For some of you, it's a person that you thought things were over with. For some of you, you will be getting engaged. There's going to be swift movement. But for everyone in this situation, there is going to be some forward movement, but it is with someone from the past. Because if you look, he's looking in the past direction. Now she's looking forward. But it will be moving forward, and they're saying that when it does, it will be balanced. Because it has not been. Now they're saying for some of you, this Wheel of Fortune, they're pointing at Wheel of Fortune. So for some people that had to let a relationship go, that relationship was not balanced. So they're saying for some, so maybe some of you had this new love interest. You met him, you left him, you went back to another man that maybe was maybe the father of your child. You went back to him, but it was totally off balance. Maybe for some of you, he was lying, cheating, stealing. You finally realize that you're like, okay, I'm going to finally let that go because things are totally off balance. And maybe you were giving 100% to that relationship. So now you're returning back to this person you met. You're like, okay, I know he's the one. I want to move forward with him, but is it going to be totally off balance like it was with my ex? it's not going to. And they're giving you signs for that. So just ask for some more signs. If you need some more clarification, you know, the angels are happy to oblige us. All we have to do is ask. So do that, and they'll help you. They'll give you signs. They'll help you with conversations. They'll help you with healing. Because the angels glorify God by helping us. But we have to ask for their help. That's the key. Okay, let's go ahead and get this wrapped up. So for those of you that found situation 1, sacral chakra, you got a love of a lifetime, you're ready to get things moving, maybe you're going to get some loving over Valentine's Day, but you're going to have to do something to get that. Think of a question. If there's something that was not answered during this reading, go ahead and get that question in your mind. We're going to pull a card from Doreen Virtue's Angel Answers deck, and hopefully that will answer anything for you that I have not yet answered. Get your question? You ready? And actually, when I shuffled, the funny thing is when I was shuffling these cards, actually 2 cards fell out. Those are the top 2 cards on this deck. So you guys are going to get the very first 2 cards because they fell out actually together at the same time. So maybe they're connected for some of you. Maybe one's an answer for some of you, one's an answer for the other. But the 2 cards you guys have is yes. Hopefully you can see that. She's holding the sun in one hand, the moon in the other hand. She's got the stars above her head. So this, love of a lifetime, sun, moon, stars. Next card is ask your angels. So I don't know, whatever that means to any of you, who knows? Maybe you're asking, okay, is this the person I move forward with? Yes, okay, how do I do it? Ask, I don't know, but hopefully that helps. Now, for those of you in situation 2, going with flow, letting someone go, allowing your body to heal itself so you can get rid of those physical symptoms and ailments and conditions. Think of a question. You got it? Okay. Your angel answer question is no. Hopefully you can see that. You have a woman sitting by a brook, an angel there, a couple angels above. Okay. For those of you in situation 3, seek. Time to separate, go inward, think, communicate, heal your heart. Don't worry about money. They've got your back. Your angel answer is reconsider. And those of you in situation 4. Okay, so for those of you that are there, they started chatting because I had a quick thought in my head, reconsider. Some of you keep, they're saying you keep going back to that person because they're comfortable. The fear of money, fear of things keeps coming you back. Yeah, it keeps pulling you back. So they're pointing out the blue again. Communicate. They're pointing out the blue of the birds and that for communications. And also Archangel Michael. So for those of you that are in this situation, they're saying to call on Archangel Michael for his help. He'll help you. To have the strength and the courage. Last situation, win or lose. Think of a question that you have. Ready for the answer. Perfect timing. Hopefully you guys can see that. Got an angel. She has a double helix in the time. Okay, well, I hope that helped all of you. I hope you have an amazing Valentine's Day. Lots of love and hearts and flowers and loving and chocolate and all the things that Valentine's Day is meant to be with. And hopefully you enjoy those that you love. And for those of you that are single, again, enjoy the time with your friends and your family and treat yourself. Take yourself out for a massage. And for those of you that get to enjoy it with your lover, hopefully you have an amazing, memorable time. I do wish you all an amazing week filled with a lot of love, joy, and blessings. Hello. Okay, so I'm back. And hopefully I can edit this and put it together, but I have a class tonight. And so that may or may not happen on editing. So if I don't get a chance to splice this with the original video, those of you that message 3 was applicable to, I put a note, you will want to listen to this as well. I was cleaning up the cards, And the angel started chit-chatting more about situation 3. Now, situation 3 was that situation where some of you are staying in a relationship that is not meant for you for financial reasons. And as I started picking up the cards, they told me, no, that's not everything. Because as if this is going to confuse you enough. So for those of you, because they're like complete opposite spectrums, like total opposites. So this is going to probably cause some confusion for some of you. So if some of you are just totally confused, this is probably not a message for you. Because those of you that are in this situation, you'll know if this message is for you. And if you think it is, but you're not really sure, take a drive. Ask that the angels give you a sign. Say, I'm not really sure which of those two. What are you trying to tell me, angels? Can you give me a sign? Was this for me? Was this message for me? Was this one not for me? If you ask them for signs, normally they'll smack you with something so obnoxious. It might be a yes on the side of a box truck, or a yes bumper sticker, or a no bumper sticker. But if you're kind of on the fence and you have a feeling, but you're not a psychic and you want something concrete, some real physical proof, ask that they give you some physical proof, and they will. Because the other message is the opposite of this one. So some of you do have a love interest that they're trying to get you to separate from, because the only thing it's founded on is money. Your money and your finances will be fine. You don't. That's not a reason to stay in a relationship that's filled with unrequited love. Because for those of you in this situation, this person does not feel for you as you feel for them. And you have been trying. There is, for some, a karma cycle tied to this. It's like a reoccurring spinning wheel. You keep coming back to the same place. It was just a lesson to be learned, to come into a place of loving yourself, knowing what you desire, and moving forward. And you need not worry about money, because you will be taken care of. And money is going to be so much better than it is now. Almost, for some of you, it's almost going to be like a money tree is going to be planted the moment you end this. You'll have money raining down on you. Now, what they were saying, the other story to this for some of you is you have ended a relationship with someone. You are now doing a lot of contemplation, thinking about what you'd like to do, how you'd like to move forward. You have met a person that you do feel is a divine lover, a divine partner, a soulmate, a twin flame. You feel that connection with them. You feel that they are meant to be. But you have to, that earlier card was talking about doing something. It is time for you to go and do something with that person. Spend time with them. Communicate with them. See how they're having a conversation? And they're commending you because you have finally admitted your feelings to yourself. But what they're saying is you have not shared your feelings with her or him yet. Because you see here, he's sitting in this pose. He's meditating. He's totally up and open to receiving divine guidance. He is receiving that. He's open to feeling and allowing himself to recognize and acknowledge his own emotions. Because they're saying for some of you, you've not allowed yourself to open your heart and feel your emotions. So they're congratulating you because you have finally opened your heart. You know that, oh my gosh, I love this person. I'd like to begin a new cycle, a new beginning with this person. But you haven't communicated that with that person. And they're saying the reason for a number of you that you have not communicated that with that person is because, oh my gosh, that's funny. Now we'll go with both of them. They're saying the reason you've not communicated is because of money. You're fearful that you're not going to be able to financially take care of that person. But you don't have to worry about that. So for some of you, you may be financially worried because maybe you're paying alimony to an ex-spouse, maybe ex-wife, ex-husband, maybe you're paying child support, maybe you have racked up some debt, or maybe just because of things that have happened in the past, how an ex-lover, an ex-spouse has torn you down, you feel inadequate for some reason, and you have these financial worries, but you need not have those financial worries. It's time to go and woo her, woo him, spend some time together, communicate. Because this is a love of a lifetime. Now, the funny thing is, so you got situation A. Now, it is interesting when you look at these clarifiers. Let's make sure those all stay in there. Okay. Because I did zoom the camera in a little bit more. I was cleaning up. I was putting the tripod away. And they're like, no, that's not it. Go back. Notice these clarifiers. Still, nobody's in the room, no communications. Both situations, there's no communications going on. There has to be some communication. Situation A. Now, situation B is founded on money, finances, denare. We have this C6 card. Sometimes it's talking about, investments, inheritances, money. It's all about money. You see money's right smack in the center there. But then the next card we have is amore. And yeah, this is C4. And this is love. It's passion that rises, that flourishes, that's successful. It's the love of a lifetime. It's a treasure. It's a gift. The next card that we have here is, it's the present, the presence. This is, if you read the straight meaning of this card, it is gift of precious stones. A present that's not selfish. It's given freely. It's also open. Notice the chest and open. It's like an open book, openly sharing your feelings and communicating. Because that is what's going to lead to the card C11 that we have here, which is the lover. It's requited love. It leads to him finding someone who loves him back the way that he loves her. And that's beautiful. So now I know why they interrupted me and told me, no, turn the camera back on. Because for those of you in this situation, do not let the fear of money keep you from moving forward with the love of a lifetime. Because she or he is the person who truly does love you. They do not love you because of your money. And you need not worry, because you are going to have no problems taking care of them in a family, if you choose to have a family, or just building a home with them. They're saying for some of you, because of things that have happened in a past relationship, someone made you feel as though you could never bring enough financially to the table. That's because all they wanted you for was for your money. So they made you doubt yourself. So now you have this love of a lifetime, but you're fearful of, okay, what if she doesn't love me back? And we'll go with she, because it's a man. So say he's now got this love of a lifetime. What if she doesn't return my love? What if she's like my ex and she just tears me down and tells me I'm not good enough and I don't make enough money for her? Because that's all she wants from me. She's just rooted in finances. That is not the case at all. This is truly the love of a lifetime. Your fears founded on money. Are self-fulfilling prophecies, self-fulfilling doubts, worries in your mind. It's just thoughts in your head, because this is a true love. This is a precious gift. It is requited love. It is the love of a lifetime. Take that chance. Communicate. Spend some quality time together. Don't worry about the money. They're saying that the money tree will be turned on for you, and you'll see that. Take that step. Take that step, and this is a great week for you to do it. And in case you guys forgot, what was your answer card was? It was reconsider. So I hope that helps. And so for those of you with situation 3, the second part of it, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. So for you, the reconsider would be, instead of not opening up and having that time, something you might want to consider, because it's a gift. And it will be requited. So that is beautiful. I do wish you all a very happy Valentine's Day, filled with a lot of love, joy, and blessings. And again, I do hope I can get this edited, but if I can't, I hope you guys all take the time to listen to this if you're in situation 3.